too. Knows about the grind. Yeah, the bubble grind.
Now we have a guy that could probably get in there if you...
It's game day. The Edmonton Oilers hit the road once again. Happy Monday, y'all. How you doing? Welcome to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk, live from the William Huff Studios. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas, Zach Kubusch in the house, digging his outfit. He went full corduroy today. Oh, did he? Yeah.
You did, really?
It's pretty sweet.
You can pump me up a little bit, Zach.
All right. Yeah, all thrifted corduroys. So, yeah, I look like my grandma's couch a little bit.
I like
colors
it,
are
man.
A bit off, but
your grandma's couch was corduroy?
Probably. I don't know. We went through a couple. She went through a couple.
Okay.
All right. But it's an awesome outfit. And yeah, if you can show the listeners once you get on screen, that'd be great. Welcome to EST Afternoons. Joaquin, we got a lot to get to. Lots happened over the weekend, and not a lot of good by the Edmonton Oilers. We want to hear from you, like always. River Korean Box, 780-218-9999. Also, hit us up on the Nasty Chat if you're watching iHeart, TuneIn, radio apps, EdmontonSportsTalk.com. And if you're on the good old EST YouTube channel, slam that thumbs up if you hate Stuart Skinner.
Oh, Jesus.
So it should be at least 1 million today because that's the...
Skinner!
Oh, Joaquin, we're going to get all of what happened on the weekend. Derek Van Diest from NHL.com, our good buddy, will join us at 1:40, and it's just going to be Joaquin, Zach, and myself for the rest of the show, guys. Are you okay with that?
Sure.
Sure. How was your weekend, Joaquin?
It was good. My family, my in-laws, we had dinner with my son and his girlfriend.
Oh, nice.
So they got to meet the new girlfriend and stuff. So we had Chinese on Saturday. That was a lot of fun. And yeah, just it's weird having games on in the morning, right?
Yeah.
So
I agree.
but I don't mind it. It was fine. But then just getting stuff. I watched some other games too. It was kind of a weird weekend in the NHL all around. Like there was some teams that still had their toes in the sand, and other teams just looked so dominant. So, what we saw from the team in Edmonton here is, yeah, they definitely didn't have their best this weekend.
No, they did not. We're going to break it all down, and
you had a good couple good pre and posts that I watched, buddy. Well, I was part of the one post game show, and
it got nasty yesterday.
Yeah, no, it was pretty funny. Well, it's funny because I have access to the text line and stuff, so I was looking at that and go, geez, that is rough. But I mean, I thought you guys broke it down perfectly. What happened there? It was, and again, I mean, all I want to do is keep talking about the Four Nations. That's all I want to do for the next 2 weeks. But it was such a letdown from.
It's time to move on.
No, yes. I refuse.
It's time to move on.
I guess we have to.
And it was funny because on Friday we were joking. We're like, can't wait to get back to talking about Stuart Skinner and Evan Bouchard. And boom! On Saturday, we were just punched in the face with it.
Well, I was pretty harsh on both Stuart Skinner and Bouchard, I think, after Saturday. And a lot of people were responding and saying, well, it was the team. I know that. But there's just, like I said on the post-game show, well, you have a few pillars, like the building blocks of your team. And Stuart Skinner and Evan Bouchard are two of those structural foundational pieces of this team if they want to get to where they need to be, and they can't have those types of performances.
So no, and listen, it doesn't mean one thing has to be right and everything else is wrong. A lot of things can be correct. The Oilers were awful in both games.
Yeah.
Check mark. Okay. Goaltending wasn't even close to good enough in
No.
both games. Okay. Defensively, they were a train wreck.
Oh, awful.
Awful. The give a crap meter was, for me, extremely low, especially yesterday.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Connor McDavid looks like a guy that's tired.
I don't think it. Yeah, tired, mentally fatigued.
Yeah.
I think like to come off that mountain of emotion and then back down. It's just
It's a lot.
it's
sure.
a lot.
And we said it. I wouldn't have played him Saturday. I don't care.
We would have shut him down.
Shut him down. Chris Knobloch's lines yesterday were a complete mess. As soon as they were released, 20 minutes before puck drop, we kind of looked at it and we snickered at it. We took a lot of heat for it, but I'll never understand a guy coming out of the press box to play with the best player in the world. I'll never understand that rationale. And yeah, you're looking for a spark, and yeah, you're looking for that. But that to me made no sense. Do you agree with this? The only bright spots on the weekend, Leon Draisaitl to a certain extent,
Yeah.
and Matt Savoy.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't bad.
He wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen way more of him. You
Sure.
might as well have. You weren't winning those games.
Yeah.
So why not play the legs off him?
And sit McDavid.
Yeah.
Because at one point you're getting blown out by Washington. That's where I say, you know what, guys? McDavid, you've played a lot of hockey. In the last 10 minutes, we don't really need you out there. You're not coming back in this game. Savoy, I want to see what you have
Yeah. Let him.
in garbage time.
Yeah.
Maybe get his confidence up. Maybe do that. Maybe do that. Okay, so we all agree on that. We all agree that the goaltending terrible. The PK is leaking. They were awful. Absolutely awful.
You've just mentioned the three-prong, the trident of how to be unsuccessful as a hockey team. Your PK sucks, your goaltending sucks, and your defensive structure sucks. I don't think you're not outscoring your problems when all those three things are an issue.
In the second segment, I'm going to give you some numbers on some players on this team because I think scoring outside of the big four is down, and it's concerning. And that's why going into the deadline, and no one's ever said on any other shows here, no one's ever said that this is a perfect team. We've been saying it. I said it in October. And the good thing about being on the radio, you can circle back and listen to everything stupid I've said. I said it in October. I said, excuses are done for a lot of players on this team. Stuart Skinner's one. Evan Bouchard's the other. Why did I defend Stuart Skinner during the mid part of the season? Because every time the Oilers lost, it was only the goalie's fault, which I think is unfair. Now, does Stuart Skinner need to be better? 100%. He has an .898 save percentage. Pickard has an .896, Joaquin. That's not good enough for a team that's supposed to be going all the way to the finals again. Great point brought up by, I can't remember, brought it up here in the bullpen. The problem with the Oilers goaltending, Gagers, you never get that big save. When the defense is crappy, they never bail them out. So when the defense is crappy, your goaltending's crappy.
We also, Reed and I we were all having a little with Maddie too, with a discussion. And a lot of people are saying this, and we've said it for a long time because experience, there is something to experience. But then I thought, well, what goalies have gone to the finals, lost, and got back again and won and made a difference?
You have the names.
I think so.
Okay. Give it to us.
So we have Bobrovsky. Lost, came back and won.
Okay.
We have to go all the way back to Fleury, where he lost against Detroit. They got back again the next year against Detroit again and won. And the last one is, I believe it's Tuukka Rask, but he lost both. No, it's not Tuukka Rask. Sorry, I got to look it up again. I thought I remembered it. Rask, yeah, I think he lost twice. Luongo, but then you look at the other goalies, right, that got there and never went back again. Luongo never got back. There's a few other guys in there over the last couple decades that got to the finals, never went back. Jones from San Jose got there, didn't get back. So, and these were good teams they were on the following years too, right? So it's... So
you're saying he might not ever get back?
Well, I don't know how much we can put into this is the goaltending tandem that got you there already. Is it good enough? There's a lot of stats out there and a lot of things you're looking at. And after seeing I expected just so much more. Maybe, and that's it. And I can't, it's only a couple games on both guys' sides, but usually I would say goalies that have had a few, some time off, some time away, usually you see a little bit more of a spark, and they both looked out of place in both games.
Yeah, and listen, and it's fair to say that from mid-November to mid-January, Skinner was pretty good. He hadn't lost back-to-back games since October. Now he's fallen off again. And the team has as well. They've lost 3 straight games. It looks like the October team. This is probably their worst 2 games of the season, and that's including the first 3 they lost to start the season. So, sure, you need better goaltending. And everybody's throwing John Gibson and Viv Malka, and I don't think Bennington's even a realistic. I think the other 2 are more realistic. And I think I said it on the post-game show on Saturday. Like, we got to remember, too, that Skinner's not Bowman's guy or Jeff Jackson's guy.
But, okay, so do you think that these guys can do it?
Well, for me, it's Stuart Skinner, because Calvin Picker's not going to be your guy in the playoffs. Okay, he might step in for a game or 2, but Calvin Picker's not your guy in the playoffs. Plain and simple. Can Stuart Skinner be that guy? The way he's playing this season, I understand why there's a lot of frustration and hesitation to stay with him. It's a tough one, Gager, because. So the move is to bring someone to pair with Stuart Skinner. It's not to get rid of Stuart Skinner.
No.
Am I correct in that?
Well, I guess, yeah. But if you're bringing a bona fide guy in, whoever that may be, I don't know who that name is, Skinner's probably going the other way.
Okay.
Right?
And we got to realize that the Oilers are probably going to win a cup in the next 3 years, right? Like,
I don't know why. I don't know. I don't know how you can say that.
I think they will. I think when you have the eliteness of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, they'll take you all the way eventually.
You do?
Yeah, but I'm just saying this, though. Like, you can bring in John Gibson and the Oilers can lose in the second round. It's a possibility, Joaquin. It is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you just said you think that this is going to happen at some point, but there's also a chance that it doesn't.
Yeah, sure.
I mean.
And we're always going to look at the goaltending, and to get back to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals is extremely hard. Now, I know Tampa and Florida did it recently. I know Vegas has done it in a short span. But it's going to be extremely hard.
Yeah. Very hard.
So now, you bring in a 1A to battle with Stuart Skinner, right? That's what people want, right? They don't want Skinner out. You want Pickard out.
Yeah, but... Yeah, I hate having this discussion because I've been saying these guys can do the job, and I felt that they'd been adequate, and adequate's the big word. They haven't been great. There's been moments of greatness, but too much mediocrity, I think, from your number one guy, where... And I know you, and I know that on the Reed Wilkins show with Jay Milne, they're going to be talking about this a little bit more. But I can't remember a lot of games where the Edmonton Oilers lost that you looked at Stuart Skinner and go, man, he was their only bright light tonight.
No, that's fair. And that's what we've been saying.
Yeah.
The big saves never. When the team is terrible defensively, the goaltending never helps them out.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair.
There's been a few though. I'm not saying it hasn't happened. There's been a couple where he's played really, really good.
But why I got upset and why I was defending Skinner a lot was because every time they lost, it was only him. And we got to look at the whole picture. Like this weekend, the goaltending wasn't good. It was awful. Yeah, but look at the play in front of them.
They were all pretty stinky. Yeah, there was no the amount of swings. There were 0 stops and starts in both games.
And I brought it up to you before the Four Nations after that Colorado game. The thing that concerns me about Skinner lately, the body language.
Yeah.
He's really down on himself really
Yeah.
early in games.
Yeah.
Like there's no, like he gives up a bad goal, for example, Gage, in the first 6 minutes, and right away, like the body language is bad.
Yeah.
Like there's no like, okay, I'm not letting any more
There's
in
a
here.
slumped shoulder there.
Yeah.
But whereas before, there was still what resembled a confident guy. Okay, let's shake that one off,
John Cardle says, give Skinner one more playoffs. If he sucks again, goodbye. Do you agree with that? It might happen.
That's the problem is, well, yeah, you don't know what this management staff has been thinking, and now the runway is so short.
Yeah.
And a decision needs to be made, which maybe they've made it already. But I find it difficult looking at what you would have to give up and the assets that you would lose to get me. There's no for sure guy out there that's going to make your team a definite contender for the Stanley Cup. And I think
There's just not realistic.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
those guys aren't
Yeah.
those teams aren't giving up that.
No, of course not. It's a great conversation. And listen, I think with Skinner, and we're going to get to Evan Bouchard, I think there's a up here, and then it comes all the way. There's no in between, right? And I think there has to be an in between because we got a text over the weekend saying Skinner's been awful all year, and that's false. Has he been great all year? No. So, but there's an in between there. I don't think he's been awful. He had a good stretch. No one can deny he had a good stretch, but he's had really bad stretches. One he's in right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'll ask you this before we go to break. Who gets to start for you tomorrow?
Oh, it's got to be Skinner.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Because Skinner can go Thursday too if he plays well tomorrow.
dude. It's almost you're almost in Rolson time where I remember Mac T when Dwayne Rolson came, he was leaky.
He was.
He wasn't good, and Mac T said, "Just he's our guy, and we're going with him." And he played him the rest of the games and ran with him, and he developed something there. Is this the time where you say, you leave caution to the wind, stop with this back and forth stuff? Someone's got to get going here. And personally, and I know a lot of other people out there are asking for me to dust off the pads and make myself available, but trust me, no one wants that. All right,
I do.
But I think it's time to put the big boy pants on Stu Skinner and let him run with it until he can't. Find out and let him go. How many games are left?
25.
Yeah, let him play 20 of them, man. Just let it buck. Let him get into a groove because you don't want to be going this back and forth stuff and up to that point, and hopefully he gets it together by game 83. No, if I'm the coach, I'm making a decision now. I'm sitting them both down. You're my number one. If he sucks, you're going in.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the way we're doing it.
So if Pickard gets hot, are you okay with the coach saying we're running?
No,
with you? Okay.
Pickard's not
the guy.
No,
Okay.
the only way Pickard is playing is if there's like two really bad games in the playoffs that Stu Skinner plays, and then you throw him to the Wolves and hope for the best. And even then, I don't know. I look what happened with Binnington, right? Sometimes your coach can install that confidence in you that makes you feel better about yourself. It's a weird relationship between goalies and coaches. When you have that confidence that your coach can install and say, "You're my man," and you saw the embrace that happened at the end with Binnington and John Cooper. That was a special moment, and that's somehow Coach Knobloch needs to establish that with his guys.
Max Pizzuzzu says Skinner seems to play better when he is deemed the guy unquestionably, but he has been the guy. I don't think the coaching staff has ever deemed Pickard the starter.
Yeah, I know.
And I think they have a plan for Pickard, and I think they've stuck to it, and that's why he plays a lot. But I still think for the management and the coaches, Skinner's their guy. All right, lots to get to. The afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of Tap 25 Restaurant, where the entire menu is 50% off 7 days a week from 2 to 5 p.m. Coming up next, I'm going to throw some numbers at you guys, but regarding some of the forwards on this team. We're also going to continue the conversation on the goaltending, on Evan Bouchard, on John Klimberg, and we're going to look at 2 goals from yesterday that were just, to me, it just showed that the team was ready to pack it up and move on to Tampa Bay.
Oh, that's good.
And you can't have that. Not when a team is considered a Stanley Cup contender. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons. Joaquin Gage, Hernan Salas. Hit that thumbs up if you hate Oilers goaltending, and we should be close to 2,000 by now because by the post-game shows, no one likes the Oilers goaltending. And don't forget to continue sending us messages on the Nasty Chat and River Korean Box, 780-218-9999. Here's Coop with your sports update.
Delight NHL slate. Winnipeg hosting San Jose while the Golden Knights meet the Kings, having Edmonton practicing in Tampa Bay ahead of tomorrow's game against the Lightning. And Trevor Zegras of the Ducks is having a hearing today for his interference against Detroit's Michael Rasmussen. And Zegras delivered the hit last night in the second period, landing the check high to the head, with Zegras not receiving a penalty on the play. In 8 games, Phil, the NBA schedule having Brooklyn play Washington, the Nuggets tip off with the Pacers, while Philly and Chicago hit the court before the Raps face the Celtics tomorrow. And MLB spring training continues with the Mets trailing the Cards 7-4 at the bottom of the 8th before the Dodgers challenge the Mets, and the Yankees take on the Red Sox, seeing 10 games on tap. This sports update is brought to you by the Capital Care Foundation. Financial support deeply affects residents at Capital Care, and whether it's a one-time donation or a monthly contribution, every penny counts. Find out how you can donate at capitalcarefoundation.net. More with Hernan and Joaquin on the other side of the break here on EST Afternoons. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your sports update.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
Looking for quality building materials and friendly advice? Visit us at Windsor Plywood Leduc, family owned and locally run since 1993. From interior materials for doors, flooring, baseboards, and all the finishing touches to all you need for your outdoor projects like cedar lumber for decks and fences, plus all the plywood you'd need. Our full-time on-staff carpenter can help with anything odd-sized or custom, and from domestic hardwoods to exotic selections, we've got you covered. And if we don't have it, we'll track it down for you. Windsor Plywood Leduc. We're the experts you need to know.
$126. Ooh, I like that beat, Joaquin. Well done, Coop. Ice Coop on the 1 and 2s. It sounded like some old school Rascals. Good old Canadian rappers out of Vancouver. Good stuff. Welcome back to ESC Afternoons. Only 39 people hate Oilers goaltending. That's interesting, Gager. I thought it'd be way more than that. Hit us up. River Korean Box 780-218-9999. Also on the Nasty. Joaquin, a lot of people are saying that I just want to go back to the playoffs for a second. So a lot of people yesterday in the post game, and I'm seeing it on the Nasty chat now. Skinner had nothing to do with the Oilers' run to Game 7. Do you agree with that?
What? Sorry?
Skinner had nothing to do with the run to Game 7.
Oh no, he was definitely a reason for it. Yeah, I mean, everyone's brought it up. Doesn't matter who you listen to, but Game 6 here at home against Dallas, Edmonton Oilers had no business being in that game.
Oh, they had 10 shots.
No, it was a joke. And Stuart Skinner nursed that thing home.
So if you say Skinner was a part of their success in the playoffs, it doesn't mean that you think he's great this year, does it? No.
I mean, look, the reason why I've been in his corner is that the regular season doesn't matter. Sure, you have to use this to get your game in the right place to have success. Has it been there? Too inconsistent, I think, this year. But I do think that Stuart Skinner can find a level that is elite in the NHL. I don't think it would last for 4 months, 5 months, but for the short span of a playoffs, 2.5 months, I think he can play good for 2.5 months, and that's all you need to do. Easier said than done, I guess you could also say. But look, the Oilers aren't winning a Stanley Cup unless, and I've said this multiple times, unless Stuart Skinner is in the conversation as MVP of the playoffs, you're not winning the Stanley Cup.
No, I agree with you. And I'm just trying to because some people are rational about it. And yes, they need an upgrade or they need Skinner to really improve here going forward. But I'm just going to leave it at this. Colin D'Elia and Olivier Rodrigue are not the answer, people. And if that's your take, I'm sorry. I'm just going to move on because that's ridiculous. Joaquin, I want to get to some players that are struggling mightily for the Oilers. Okay?
Okay, let's do that.
No, because obviously goaltending is problem number one. I still think they need, and we're going to get to it, I still think they need another defenseman. I truly do. But last 20 games for these forwards, okay? Let's start with Victor Arvidsson. How many points do you think he has in his last 20 games?
3.
10.
Oof.
3 goals, 7 assists.
Okay.
Second, Jeff Skinner. How many points in his last 20?
I'd say 15.
9. 5 goals, 4 assists.
Right.
Next, Vasily Podkolzin. 7 points in his last 20. Adam Henrique, 6 points in his last 20. Kasperi Kapanen, 6 points in his last 20. Connor Brown, 4 points in his last 20. Matthias Janmark, 2 points, in his last 20. I think the Oilers, ahead of the deadline, need to upgrade this group.
Oh, they're and they were talking about this on the panel and stuff, and possible. I think Elliot Friedman was saying a few different names. Yeah, they need more consistent scoring with a little bit more of a beefy guy. I think the guy they referred to was that Alex Tuck out of Buffalo. Big guy, skates well, scores some goals, not afraid to go into the hard areas. I think, something has to be done. We were joking afterwards. When does this become something that the management has done that you critique? Like, obviously the moves that were made on, look, I was excited about them too when they made them, but now looking back, these moves weren't great. Re-signings weren't great. They're not.
It hasn't worked out.
And this is regular season. It hasn't worked out. Where you probably, I mean, I can't get into the head of JJ and Bowman, but I think what they thought was they were going to get a little bit more balanced offensive attack and kind of take the load off of 97 and 29 throughout the regular season. So these guys could, hit the ground running in playoffs and just go completely nuts. But what you've had to have happen is, and which is kind of not, I mean, Connor McDavid, I think he has 50 assists already this season, right? It's nothing to shake a stick at. But Leon's had to go to the next level, right, this year, offensively, and putting up these numbers. The run support just hasn't been there throughout the whole lineup. Too inconsistent. This is regular season, though. Sometimes you get to the playoffs, and all of a sudden these guys start popping off and playing. You know, you're playing against the same team over and over. You start wearing down, and maybe their game is more suited to the playoffs. That's what you hope, anyways. Because if you're just relying on 97 and 29 throughout the whole playoffs, you need secondary guys. Like who's going to be those unsung heroes that help your team throughout, you know, hopefully 4 playoff rounds in over a couple months here. But it just hasn't been good enough.
Because for me, any of these guys are movable at the deadline. If you want to upgrade any of these guys. For me, the guys that stand out are the 2 guys that play in the top 6 consistently. Victor Arvidsson, you need more than 3 goals in your last 20 games. I'll give you this stat. And I'll say it again because people sometimes hear what they want to hear. I think Vasily Podkolzin's a good player. I think he belongs on this team. I don't think he belongs in the top 6, though.
No.
Okay? He has 7 points in his last 20 games. He has 3 goals in his last 33 games, playing majority of the time with the best player in the league at the moment. That's not good enough. I don't care how good you are at retrieving pucks, Joaquin. You're not that good if you're scoring 3 goals in 33 games with Leon freaking Draisaitl. Not good enough.
Yeah.
So Jeff Skinner, 11 goals on the season, Joaquin. Okay? Victor Arvidsson, Adam Henrique, Connor Brown each have 7. Janmark has 2.
Yeah, but I mean, with Jeff Skinner, with the amount of time he's had, and he has 11 goals, it's impressive, man.
He's for me, that's a guy that's getting the short end of the stick, can't get into good books, can't get into the top 6, even when he scores goals, and he still has 11 goals on the season. Where Vasily Podkolzin's a regular Leon Draisaitl line mate. Victor Arvidsson's a regular Leon Draisaitl line mate. Adam Henrique plays every situation.
Except power play.
James, he only plays 5-on-5. Go look at what the top 6 scoring rated at 5-on-5 is. Go back to football, Hernan. Nice dig. It's because I'm Spanish, James. Well done, buddy. James Barrels throwing some interesting tweets. Make sure you chirp him there on the nasty chat. I don't care what his 5-on-5 scoring rate is. He has 6 goals.
Not good enough.
6 goals. And you're going to go look at his 5-on-5? Really? Really? I don't even like watching soccer. I like playing it. Jeez. Podkolzin is not a top 6 guy. He would be perfect on the 3rd or 4th line, Joaquin, for what he does.
He's an energy guy.
Sure.
He's an energy guy, gets in, finish checks, go to the hard areas. That's fine. But he has no finish. Going
forward, for guys like James and that defend Podkolzin, the next time the Oilers got a top 6 guy that's scoring at this rate, no one better say a peep. Because Yamamoto took heat.
Oh, yeah.
For the same thing. And a lot of heat. And he was a similar player. He could dig pucks out. He was feisty. The only knock on him was he was too small.
Yeah, he got pushed around.
He couldn't win battles.
No. There was a lot of fighting that dog, but just the dog was too small. And just couldn't get it going.
What I'd like to see is I know why, but like Skinner was playing well before Fournier. Jeff Skinner.
Yeah.
Why not give him a look-see for a longer time? I thought that line actually yesterday created the most. with Henrique, and I think he was with Connor Brown. He scored a goal.
There's just, I mean, the way that Nobla coaches, he wants a spark. He wants to see something early. And if it's not there, he's going to change things up. That's the way he coaches. And if it's not there and it looks like the offense has gone stagnant, it's a quick fuse to pull the trigger. But there you go. It's Leon and Connor playing together, right? And you're just going to have to embrace that. I don't think it's the
way it's going.
It's the way it's going to be, man. So forget about it.
People are asking about Nuge's last 20 games. He has 17 points, 8 goals, 9 assists.
He's actually been coming around a little bit.
He's playing better. You need more.
Yeah.
You need more. So of his, what does he have? 37 points. He has 21 even strength, 16 on the power play.
Okay.
So, yeah. Do you need more from... This is not a competition, Pods against Nuge. And whether you like it or not, Chris Nobla is going to ride Nuge. Because, yeah, like there's a difference there, right? And that's the coaching because he's a trusted vet. He plays every situation as well. I mean, he's shown he can score. Like he has a track history of it. Once again, this isn't we hate Vasily Podkolzin. No, for me, he's a guy that you need in your lineup.
James Barrels is all over you. He wants a definition of what a top 6 forward is. Well, it depends on who you play with, too, as a top 6 forward. But if you look at the numbers, and like you just laid out, Kyler Yamamoto playing with Leon Draisaitl for that amount of time, you cannot play in that position and not produce offensively. That's just not the way it works. You have to find someone who can finish. When you look at the top teams in the league, they usually their wingers and their point totals correlate with whoever they're playing with, and it's usually one of the top guys in the league, right? So,
and when Ryan McLeod was bumped up with Leon Draisaitl, people were losing their minds last year, right?
Yeah.
When Warren Fogle for stretches,
he
had his good moments.
Well, he had 20 goals last year too, but that was up and down. So that's not playing total top 6 because he couldn't stay there, and somehow he still managed to get 20.
And yesterday, and Dusty said it on the morning show. They said it on the oil stream. Knobloch's lines yesterday were not good. Look, call it how it is. And sure, if you think Kapanen and Podkolzin are good line mates, they were all -3, -9 combined. Like, I almost rather see Jeff Skinner up there.
Yeah.
Because he has finish.
Okay?
Yeah.
He's shown that he gets the puck in certain places and he'll finish it, right? Like
Podkolzin and Kapanen are not a long-term solution. I don't know what, maybe he was looking for a spark. It was a weird way to look for a spark. This is what they put out today. McDavid not on the ice sounds like rest, which is good. So take these lines with a grain of salt because this is it's going to be Draisaitl, Savoy, Podkolzin. Skinner with Hyman and Arvidsson. Janmark with RNH and Brown. That's going to be your third line. Kapanen, Henrique, Perry. So I think Skinner comes out. And then McDavid will go in with Hyman and Arvidsson, which I don't mind. Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Stetcher, Kulak with Klimberg. I don't like that Emberson's out, man.
No.
I think he's been good. Again, take these with a grain of salt. There's McDavid's missing. I don't know if that's going to happen here. So, I still think they can steal some of these games here on this road trip.
Do you?
I do.
Well, I expect a much better performance. So that's one thing. They're not going to be this bad. Like those are just 2 bad games. But they're going up against 3 of the top teams in the league, which is going to be really difficult, especially in their barns. So
Klimberg struggled yesterday.
Yeah, he did struggle. But again, everyone did. Everyone was. So, but I want to see what I want to see. What's the biggest thing you want to see? From mine is goaltending. I want to see Stuart Skinner battle the other guy at the other end and come out on top.
Yeah, I don't want to see the bad body language because you're probably going to get scored on. I want to see how you bounce back.
Yeah,
especially after these last 2 games he's played. I also want to see the reaction to the defensive awareness
Oh, I just want to see a little bit more dog in the fight here.
How many times yesterday, Gage, was a guy left wide open in front of the net?
The amount of swinging, man. And just, and I probably shouldn't bring this up because it'll send everyone into a frenzy, but on the Ovechkin goal, like Bouchard had a chance to finish him on the wall.
Yeah.
And he just peeled away, right? And I'm just like, just finish him. Just finish your check. Or just go push him.
Yeah.
Just go push him. But it was nothing. Just nothing. And then it went back to him. Like, if he finishes his check, there's probably no goal there. And I just want a little bit more bite. Make it a little bit more difficult for the other team in the defensive zone.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of things we can point at to what we want to see tomorrow's game because there's been a lot of bad in every aspect for the Oilers. No one gets a pass. I gave a pass to Leon because he keeps scoring at an enormous rate, and I thought Matt Savoy looked good in Philly. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, no one really looked good, but I don't mind his game. He's a little spark plug out there, does well on the boards. You can see the offensive intelligence out there. And for a small guy, I think he holds his own. So I'm intrigued to see, to continue to see Matt Savoy. Portions of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brew House. NHL lives at the Canadian Brew House. Every Oilers game day, get $1 off tankards of Molson Canadian and Coors Light, and you can win game tickets and 2 tickets to a surf and turf dinner at the end of the season. Full details at thecanadianbrewhouse.com. Coming up next, we'll continue the Oilers conversation with our buddy from NHL.com, Derek Van Diest. Keep slamming that thumbs up. Hit us up on the Nasty Chat, River Korean Box 780-218-9999. Here's Kub with your update.
It's the Kings and Golden Knights dropping the puck while the Jets take on the Sharks, having just 2 games in the NHL, with the Oilers facing the Lightning tomorrow in Tampa Bay. And on the court, Miami plays Atlanta, Portland, and Utah matchup, while the Hornets butt heads with the Kings, seeing 8 games around the association. And earlier, the Cardinals beat the Mets 7-4 as 6 other games get underway in spring training. The Rockies and Giants are tied at 1 apiece at the bottom of the second. The Cubs and Padres are scoreless at the bottom of the first, while the Angels have an early 3-0 lead on the Giants in the first as well. And from New York, Giancarlo Stanton of the Yankees is undergoing medical testing, with the 35-year-old not yet taking part in spring training. The testing is unclear whether it's related to the issues he's suffering with tendonitis in both of his elbows. This sports update is brought to you by Gimme Virtual Golf. Step into a whole new golfing experience with 240 unique courses for you to play, with the innovative technology replicating real-life ball lies, shifting the ball in 24 different directions. Gimme Virtual Golf, where innovation meets the game. Visit their website at gimmevirtualgolf.ca. Derek Van Diest from NHL.com joins EST Afternoons on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch, keeping you in the loop.
The EST Hangout.
It was not that long ago that we were holding up Skinner and Pickard, the duo, as one of the best duos in the NHL. Like, people looking at Edmonton going, they're not badly set up over there. This is not like Jacques Plante and Glenn Hall duo or something, but are they going to take you to the promised land? I don't know.
The EST Hangout, presented by Sentinel Storage. Weekday mornings 9 to 11, only on Edmonton Sports Talk. Your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you? Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. March 21st, don't miss Grits and Glamour, 2 country icons, Pam Tillis and Lori Morgan. live at the venue at the River Cree.
Except for Monday, which was never good anyway. Tuesday, I get a little.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Hungry and need it now? The Canadian Brewhouse Express Lunch, served in under 15 minutes or it's free, Monday to Friday till 2 p.m. Roasted turkey club and soup, Alberta Wagyu ravioli, and more. Fast, fresh, and no excuses. Get to the Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
Welcome back to EST Afternoons. The nasty chat is nasty. It's nasty.
I can't take it anymore.
It's nasty. Hey, it's all in good fun if you keep it respectful. We're not all going to agree on certain topics, especially when talking about the mighty oil. So thank you to all you keeping it nice and civil. Hey, we don't have to agree, but let's be respectful.
Yes, we do.
Oh,
we do.
You want to get rude? Let's get feisty. I like seeing Belsy feisty. He makes me laugh.
He was a little
because he's such a nice guy.
No, he's not.
Hey, I just before we bring in DVD, man, Ovi, man, what a machine! You see the picture of his kids with McDavid after the game?
Yeah, that's great.
And you know the funny thing about yesterday's game? His two best chances, he got stopped.
I know.
He could have had 5.
Yeah, he should have had 5 goals yesterday.
I think Tommy called a hat trick too before the game. He goes,
well, we were talking. They go, well, it's not uncommon for him to go nuts and score like 9 goals in 2 games.
Well, because the night before they scored 8, he didn't get a point.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Keep the text coming to the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999. And hit us up on the Nasty Chat. It is a busy one today. People are fired up about the Edmonton Oilers getting blown out over the weekend in both games. Awful performances. Not many guys can say they were good in those 2 games. So lots to talk about. And to continue the conversation, Derek Van Diest from NHL.com joining us. Derek, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How you guys doing?
Oh, buddy. It's feisty, man. People are not happy.
When the team loses, there's lots to talk about. Like when the team's doing well, everyone's quiet and happy and can't say much, but they get pumped on the road a couple of games and look out. Like suddenly everyone's got to go. It's and you think about this team was in 3rd place overall.
Yeah,
coming out of the break, right? And there were still people complaining.
Derek,
that wasn't a good effort. Effort at all. I was talking to Paul McLean a couple of days ago. If we have a coach's column that we do for NHL.com, and he said, yeah, those guys, some of those guys, it takes them a while to get the sand out of their toes. And I think that might be the situation there, is that there's a lot of sand in those toes, and it's time to get back to work, boys. Like the effort level wasn't good enough. Execution wasn't good enough, and it was just all around 2 really, really bad games. And now they got a tough one tomorrow in Tampa. So it doesn't get any easier.
No. Derek, let's get to it. I mean, the biggest topic over the weekend on the post-game shows and in all the shows today, and I think it'll continue for the rest of the week, is the goaltending. How concerned are you with what you're seeing from Stuart Skinner? And does management have to take a serious look here with under 2 weeks to go before the deadline to improve the goaltending?
No, I don't think so, because you have to improve the turnovers before the goal. You look at some of those goals that he gave up in Philadelphia. Man, they were just horrific turnovers. Like they're coming back the other way, and there were some kind of good shots there, but defense goaltending. What goaltending does is masks sometimes deficiencies in other parts of your game, and I think that's what it does. And when it doesn't do that, when it doesn't mask that, you kind of forget about those other deficiencies, and then you turn on the goalie. Well, it's everything. It can't always be the goalie's fault. Yes, maybe you need a bigger save here and there. I get that. Goalies are allowed to have off games too. Like they can't be on every night. Like they're allowed to have off games. And right now, Stuart Skinner, maybe he's not playing as well as he had in the past. He got off to a slow start. Maybe he's in a bit of a rut here. But you got to let these guys work their way out. Like you got to let them work their game. And he's played for the most part of the season, he's played very well. He's had some bad games, but he's played very well. And I'll tell you what, this is the one thing that kind of surprised me. Like, maybe Gage, you can weigh in on this, but I thought you play Philadelphia and Washington back-to-back. It's a big game against Washington, top team in the league. You're the number 3 team in the league. I thought they would flip and start Skinner in Washington and do it the other way around. Right now, you're going into Washington now, a must-win game with your backup goalie. Like, I don't know what that does psychologically, but in a game like that, wouldn't you want your starter? Wouldn't you want your number 1 guy playing that game? I don't know, but that maybe you can weigh in on that. And that's the one thing that I just wondered. Okay, maybe they do the starts the other way around, but obviously coming off a break, maybe you needed to start your number 1 guy. What are your thoughts on that, Gage?
Well, it was the talk on the morning show was everyone had a bad weekend, especially, and even the coaching staff was grouped into that.
Yeah.
For me, a lot of times, my biggest enemy was my mind, where I would overanalyze things, and you can't tell me that the way you look at it, you're playing the Flyers, a team that's not going to be in the playoffs, essentially, and then you're looking at another team that's been the best up to this point in the National Hockey League, and you don't start your number 1 guy. To me, if I'm Stuart Skinner, I'd be like, well, what? Why am I playing against them? Why aren't I playing against the good team? And it filters down through the whole lineup. Like, well, why isn't our Stuart Skinner playing against the really good team with Ovi and stuff? So it's definitely something that I found curious going in, that they would start Stuart Skinner. But that sends ripples throughout the whole team too. I think you have to know who your number 1 guy is. You can't treat it. This isn't a 1A, 1B situation. I don't think this is. This is Stuart Skinner's team. I think it's just another swing and a miss by the coaching staff this weekend. That's all that is.
Yeah, I felt the same way. I was like, okay, you start Pickard in Philadelphia, and then you start Skinner against the number 1 team in the league. Like, this is your team. Okay, here we go. And it does, and I agree with you, it does send ripple effects when you're going, okay, why isn't our number 1 guy not playing against the number 1 team in the league? And I think you're right. Maybe they're making a mistake. Maybe they talked about it. I don't know. It was a back-to-back coming off, and Stuart was coming off a bad start, or bad outing against Colorado. So there's obviously effects there. But yeah, I agree with you there. Like, when you don't have your number 1 guy against the best team in the league, obviously you are second guessing, especially since they gave up 7.
It seems though like maybe go with your number 1 guy against Philadelphia, secure the win, maybe is the mentality, and then you go into Washington, and if you win with your backup.
But you don't want that either. Right? You don't want that either, because then we're feeding our second guy to the Wolves. Who cares about this game? I hate that too. I don't know, Derek. We're getting closer to this trade deadline, and now maybe it's been the talk of the year. I think goaltending wise that they should establish Stuart Skinner as the number 1 guy and just play him. He's got to find some consistency in his game. And how do you do that? By continuing to play. None of this, he plays here, I play there, and then hopefully it's good by playoff time. This is something that I think they have to establish sooner rather than later. And we know that the goaltending, this is what it's going to be, basically, or we expect this is what it's going to be. But where now is your other area of concern for the trade deadline, for bringing in another piece? Is it the forward? Is it the D-core? What do you think is more possible of this team accomplishing before that time?
Well, I think defensively, they need to shore up things defensively, and I know that they wanted to have a look here, see what they had defensively, but I think that's where they're lacking, and they're turning the puck over too much. They're not playing well defensively in front of their goalies, and I think when you have a team like this, you have to play a certain style. I get it with the Oilers; they're a puck possession team. They're a team that wants you to make plays on the back end. That's where they brought in Klingberg. They thought Klingberg could be that type of guy, but I think you need a couple of guys I think you need another Matthias Ekholm type defenseman. You're not going to get one. You're not going to get one as good as he is, but I think you need a stay-home, tough, big-body guy on the blue line, and I think they're missing that right now. They don't have a lot of physicalness on the blue line outside of Nurse and Ekholm, and I think they need maybe a third guy there that can do that can provide that. To me, they have to shore that up, because I think if you shore up the defense, then that's going to help out your goaltending. You can't leave your goalies hanging out to dry like you did the other night. And I think from there, I think once you can kind of get a hold of that guy, then maybe you can look at shoring up your bottom six, because I think that needs help as well. You got to get some production out of that bottom six. I think they need to get a little heavier. They need to get a little faster. And I think that's the one thing with the Oilers is they all those guys that they let walk, they're fast guys. They're guys that could skate. And they brought in slower, older guys. So I think that's the one thing right now is suddenly, McDavid's the fastest skater in the league. Draisaitl can fly. McDavid, Nugent Hopkins can skate. But they lost a lot of speed on that bottom six when they let Fogle and they let McLeod and they let those other guys walk. And I think that's what they need right now. They need a bit more speed, a bit more jam on that bottom six. And I think that's the two areas of concern that I would be looking at more so than trying to bring in a goaltender like, Gibson in here or someone else in here. That, like, you look at this town, how many goalies have they've run out of town here that have gone on to have success somewhere else? Like, right? You can, put them on. Like, look at Cam Talbot, what he is doing. Look what Devin Dubnyk did when he left. It's not the goalies, it's the guys that you put in front of them sometimes. And sometimes people are blind to the fact that the guys in front of them maybe aren't playing that well, and you have to fix those problems before you can start pinning everything on your goalie.
DVD, they let me go, and I went and won the Hart in the English League. So, I mean, Jesus.
There you go. Yeah, put him on the list. Yeah.
Derek. Okay, so there's 5 games left before the deadline. For me, and you guys can disagree with me, I'd run Skinner in 4 of those 5. Possibly 5 of the 5, because there's no back-to-backs. But do you think? Do you think that that's enough for Stan Bowman to look at it? Let's just say the struggles continue in these 5 games, because like Gager says, run the guy before the deadline and see if you have to make an upgrade. Do you think Stan Bowman's looking at it saying, well, let's see how these 5 games go before I really get into it? Or do you think they're almost not even looking at it and saying Skinner's my guy this year?
I think unless the wheels completely fall, I agree with you. I play him. You play him, and you just make sure, one, play him to say, hey, you're our guy. And 2, if the wheels completely fall off, then maybe you have to go and say, okay, maybe things aren't going to work out. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think I agree with you there. But I think, listen, Stan Bowman's a lot smarter guy than I am when it comes to putting a hockey team together. I think he's looking at other areas first to shore up before we start blaming the goalie for all the problems, because there's a few problems that the owners have to address. Guys have to play better. There's some guys that Bouchard has to play better. Like he's just, you cannot at this stage, make the mistakes that he's been making, and we've seen it all year. And I know I've been getting hammered by the analytics guys, and we're all getting hammered by the analytics guys. Like, oh, look at his Corsi, look at his analytics. Yeah, but look at the turnovers. Like, they're just terrible. They're just awful, awful plays. And he's got to get that out of his game. Like, you just have to get that out of your game. And the thing that bothered me a little bit, there was a turnover. Was it the other night? Or I can't remember, wasn't watching Philly, but he turned the puck over and then he kind of just dawdled back.
It's Philly.
Like, you turned the puck over. Yeah, it was Philly. Yeah, and it kind of just, you turn the puck over. You better be that first guy back, not the last guy back. And there was a lot of chances for him to get back. And I think that's something that would bother me as a coach. If a guy turns the puck over and just shrugs his shoulders and says, oh, well, that happens. Like, you can make mistakes, but it's how you react to those mistakes that really tells a lot about a character of a player. Like, some guys will be hustling back to get that, and you should be hustling back if you threw the puck away. So, yeah, that was the one in Philly that really bothered me. I'm like, dude, you gave the puck away, get back. Like, and he just didn't.
Yeah, it's there's got to be more. He's got to engage a lot more, get into these games. I think someone in the pregame. So I hope Bouchard's on his 3rd Red Bull by but nonetheless, I mean, he was one of many that were bad this weekend, DVD. They'll try to bounce back tomorrow. If they don't, it's going to get ugly here in Edmonton, I'll tell you that much. But DVD, so you run Skinner tomorrow. There's no way you go with
Yes.
that. Yeah.
No. Yeah, I go Skinner the rest of the trip, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's no back-to-backs there. Like, and you know, you're looking at this Tampa, Florida, Carolina. Those are three really good hockey teams. So I would go with him and say, yeah, you're our guy. We're trying to win these games. And I'm really surprised that they didn't flip to start the road trip to flip it. But like I said, I'm not inside those meetings. I'm not talking to those guys. I'm not the goalie coach. So, you know, obviously they worked it out, but it didn't work out as planned, obviously.
DVD, thank you for taking the time. Should be interesting. Probably see you Thursday at BP's if Tommy's there on location.
If he's there, it'll be a place to go watch it.
All right. Thanks, buddy, and we'll chat soon.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me on.
All right. That's DVD. Good conversation there. I mean, it's a lot of good points. Like I said, everybody has a different take. It's okay. You don't have to be go crazy. It's just, I mean, it's Stan Bowman's got some tough decisions to make here shortly. I think Friday we'll be 1 week away, Joaquin, and we'll see what he does because you need a bottom six guy. You need another defenseman. For many, they want to upgrade the goaltending. So that's a lot to get done, and a lot will have to do with Evander Kane.
Yeah. By all accounts, there's still question marks around that too. So it's
maybe they're slow playing it and making us all look foolish.
So.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope we're all in the dark on this, and they know that. I mean, if they don't know,
it's bad.
It's really bad.
Yeah, I'll question the management.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
All right, keep slamming that thumbs up. We're at 57. If you want John Gibson or Vejmelka, hit that thumbs up. I thought people were all against the Oilers goaltending. Doesn't seem like it. Only 57 of you. So if you'd like to see a new goaltender in town, slam that thumbs up. Hit us up on the River Cree inbox 780-218-9999. In hour 2, we'll continue the Oilers discussion. We might dip our toes into some F1 as well as testing kicks off this weekend, and Indy starts their season on the weekend as well. That's all coming up here on EST Afternoons. We're back after the break.
The Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
Generally, if it's a game that is important for me to watch, I don't like watching in a pub-type environment because I want to focus on the game. I don't want to be too distracted. I don't want the chatter of people who aren't watching. I just feel like I want to watch with a very small group of people who are also watching the game along with me.
The Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne, weekday afternoon 3 to 6, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they're the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
Looking for a winning strategy for your retirement? Contact me, Joaquin Gage at K4 Financial, where expertise meets dedication. I will always look for a careful approach to your retirement, ensuring your financial future is secure. From tailored strategies to clear, actionable advice, I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Don't leave your future to chance. Get in touch with me, Joaquin Gage, today at k4financial.ca or email joaquin.gage@k4financial.ca to start planning for a brighter future and a more secure retirement.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. March 21st, don't miss Grits and Glamour, 2 country icons, Pam Tillis and Lori Morgan. Live at the venue at the River Cree.
Except for Monday, which was never good anyway. Tuesday, I get a little.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Two games in the NHL. LA hosts Vegas while the Sharks battle the Jets from Winnipeg as the Oilers practice in Tampa Bay to take on the Lightning tomorrow. And for the Ducks, Trevor Zegras has a hearing with the Department of Player Safety for hit he landed up high to the head of Michael Rasmussen of the Red Wings yesterday, with Rasmussen listed as day-to-day, not practicing this morning. Basketball sees Minnesota play Oklahoma City. The Clippers tipping off with the Pistons, while Charlotte hits the road in Sacramento, having 10 games in the NBA. And the Tigers Blue Jays game was canceled today from Lakeland, Florida, seeing Toronto meet St. Louis tomorrow. And 8 games are live in spring training, with the Rangers stomping the White Sox 9-0 at the bottom of the second. The Cubs have the only score, keeping it 1-0 over the Padres at the bottom of the second, while the Giants trail 4-0 against the Angels in the second as well. I'm Zachary Kubusch. That was your sports update. The second hour of EST Afternoons starts right now.
2:07, hour 2 here on EST Afternoons on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. We're live from the William Huff Studios. Keep the messages coming to the River Cree inbox 780-218-9999. Hit us up on the nasty chat like always and slam that thumbs up for us as we like to get to 100. Waddy in Cloverdale says, why does Knobloch hate Gretzky so much? Pull the goalie in a 6-3 game and gift Ovi a Hattie? Something's fishy.
Oh, maybe it's because he gave the thumbs up to the U.S. team. I don't know.
Oh, boy. Let's see here. Tabby says, the goaltender talk drives me insane. It reminds me of the decade of darkness when all the fans complained about was goaltending, even though our top 6 couldn't score and the defense let the opponents fly by them on a consistent basis. Devin Dubnyk was hung out to dry, along with Scrivens, Koskinen, Habibulin, and the list goes on. When are fans going to wake up and start holding the skaters responsible? It takes more than one guy to win a hockey game. Good job. Good text, Tabby. Our buddy Wheels. You're talking about John Gibson still? Use the old dinosaur. Like, give it up already. We don't need him. We are. And who are we going to replace Stewart or Picker with? There's nobody out there. Well, John Gibson will. That's the obvious one. Vimelka is a name that's popping up. I know Lieutenant Eric did a ranking on Twitter, and he threw a bunch of names out there. I mean, it's a possibility that they're going to upgrade the goaltending for sure. I'm not going to sit here and say otherwise. I think the defenseman and the bottom 6 guy is probably top priority for them right now. Because I don't think management views Skinner like we do.
You don't?
I don't. Because
how do we view him?
Well, I mean, like...
I still think he can do it.
Okay. But that's what I mean. Like, I guess my point is the coaching staff and the management are not overreacting like we do after a game.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
They better not.
No, but that's what I mean. They're more rational. They're probably more patient.
I mean, they probably lose their minds too.
Oh,
but
of course.
They know that you don't make a trade or a decision right after a bad game.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of go to sleep on it and hopefully things are a little bit more rational the next day. They're just as emotional as the players though. But saying that, I mean, I mentioned this before. When you do make those types of moves, you got to. Another thing to take into account is the dressing room too. How much of an influence is a new guy coming in, taking time away? And I know people are going to say, "Well, they're professionals. You know, if they're not performing, you can be replaced."
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of guys trying to, if someone's having a rough season, I'm sure there's a lot of guys trying to pull them along. Like, let's go. They're trying to get the best out of this player. And
yeah.
if you feel like all of a sudden now you're not part of that can disrupt a room too. And let's face it, man. I've said it before. Smarter guy than me said it. Only one team gets it right.
Yeah.
And depending on what you do, you got to make sure that this isn't going to ruin the dressing room itself, and it's going to be a good fit moving forward as a piece of your team.
And the guy, Skinner's part of the core, right? Like they love.
Oh yeah. See, like you come in and he gets replaced all of a sudden. Pickard, who knows? Is he gone or is Stuart Skinner gone? What happens there? Like it's a huge swing in the dressing room. So.
We'll see, man. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know what goalie to go out and get. I mean, if it's John Gibson, I'm not going to be like, oh my, what did they do? It depends on the return as well.
Mm-hmm.
If you can retain a Vejmelka on bad Arizona teams, sure. Numbers are not great either, but I mean, we've seen him play super well, especially against the Oilers at times. He's an interesting name. I think those are the two guys. I don't think St. Louis is getting rid of Binnington. There's no way, especially
and
after
he's
that.
What, $6? He's $6 million. It's hard, man.
So it's one of those things where it's going to be. I mean, these next 2 weeks, Gage, are going to be fantastic. But I think we all agreed. I think you have to run Skinner here.
Yeah. Well,
I do.
You don't have to, I guess.
But if you want to get him back,
he hasn't. He's gone the way of how he's been implemented through the year.
Yeah.
Right? Up and down, up
Mm-hmm.
and down, up and down. And there have been times when I thought his game has been really sharp and he hasn't gotten the next game. You're losing the opportunity of a goalie getting on a roll for a while. And you got to find that somehow. And I just think that now, all right, what was the number one thing well, not the number one, I guess, but one thing that we spoke about at the beginning of the year was how many games is Stuart Skinner going to play?
Yeah.
Right. Well, how can we give him enough rest so he is able to succeed in the playoffs?
Yeah.
And I think they've done that up to this point. Now you're in the home stretch. I think it's time to drop the hammer and let him give him the keys. You know, put him in the cockpit and let him go and see what you got. Because he has to. It's not good enough now where his game's at, I don't think, to have success. Okay? I don't think it's good enough right now. I do think he can get there, but how do you get there? You play a lot. So,
and if management is strongly considered looking and trading for a goaltender, I want to see Stuart Skinner in the next 5 games, or at least 4.
Well, yeah.
When, especially if, because you know how it is. Sometimes they lose and they'll go to Pickard. No, if he loses, put him back in there. See what you got.
No. Yeah.
Listen, the Oilers are going to the playoffs. Depends just on what spot. But I don't think 5 games drastically changes their opinion.
No.
I think they're going to look at the overall body of work. That's what management does, because they're not reactionary. They're not people. They don't run teams by reacting on a 5-game stretch, right? They're going to look at it. So what
was it? 25 games left?
Yeah, he's played 38, Joaquin.
Yeah.
So does he need to play, would you say, at
20.
least 15 of those?
20.
20, okay.
At least. Gosh, enough's enough. He's rested. Time to go here. All right? Give him the ball. Give him the ball.
So what you're saying is live and die with Stewie Skins.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
He's enough. Let him get ready. Let him do this. I can tell you, as a goalie, all you want to do is play anyway. Sitting on the bench sucks. No one gets into the league to be number 2. Even though a lot of guys are. If they tell you they're happy, they're not.
It's like a backup quarterback.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. No one's doing that. All right? Time to give Stuart Skinner the ball.
All right. What say you, Nasties? Would you play him in the next 5 games? No matter what the results? I'm intrigued by the response to this. I am. And I think you got to mix it in with the trade deadline to see if I don't know, Joaquin. Like, does 3-2, if he goes 3-2 in the next 5, does that change management's mind? If he goes 2-3, 1-4, like, it's so hard to say.
Yeah, no, you just play him.
Okay. Evan Bouchard.
Oh my God. Can't we get the Pirelli's tires that are having it testing this week?
And some positivity. And Ehlers we trust. Jets 10 in a row tonight against San Jose. Yeah, that team's a wagon right now. That team's a damn wagon. And
who are they playing tonight?
San Jose.
No, who are they playing in goal?
Oh, yeah. Let us know as we say hello to the Winnipeggers, the Hustlerites.
Probably Comrie, I bet.
The WSTers. Hit that thumbs up, boys and gals. Phyllis and Matt Hyman and others we trust. Let's get to over 100. Evan Bouchard on Saturday drove me crazy. And like DVD said, there's a big battle now with the analytics and the eye test people. But I'll say this, Joaquin, and you might disagree or agree with me. What I saw from Evan Bouchard, especially in that Saturday game, for me, it's a guy that doesn't want to engage. And listen, I was looking at giveaways yesterday, and Bouchard's third, but the first two are Mackenzie Weegar, and it's all top, guys that play a lot, right? It made McKinnon's top 10 because they have the puck a lot, so I understand that. Mm-hmm. What I don't like, and I said it Saturday postgame, is fine. You turn the puck over. It happens. Mistakes happen. I hate the effort after he makes a turnover. There's no effort to even remotely try to get back or help out his team. No.
Okay, are we really getting on this? Jesus, you're going to make me angry. No, it's hard. Like you watch... I mean, our text line our private text line is quite funny because, Dusty laid it out, like he circled it and stuff. And
we're going to show it later.
Okay. Evan, you gotta show a little bit more gumption. You gotta light the fire a little bit more, getting that mode that you were in. Again, it's enough's enough with going halfway. Like it's 50%. All the time with this guy. Get in there, get your nose dirty. Like the physical play, other teams see this, man, and they know how much time you're on the ice. You don't think they're going to take advantage of knowing that you don't engage physically or get in your face, and as soon as that happens, he's just like, oh, I don't want this anymore. And not even a stride. Not even a hard stride after a mistake.
No.
And that's a guy that's way too comfortable. And I know that after the giveaway and after a certain play, he did get sat.
He did.
Right?
They went with Nurse Ekholm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know how. I mean, Coach Nobla has had him for what now? Almost over a year, mm-hmm. Right? So as a coach, you have to know how to press those buttons. And this is what we talked about. Well, how do you press the buttons on Bouchard to get him to engage? And I know he's not an overly physical guy, but you can't back down. You have to stand your ground a little bit. You can't be bullied like it looks like he's being at times. And you have to show a little bit more desire and passion if you do give the puck away and getting back and making amends for the mistakes. That's killer to watch from the bench, too, for your teammates. This guy's not trying.
And I think the most frustrating part for fans is he still plays the most out of any defenseman. Even on Saturday, when he missed a few shifts, he got taken off the pair with Ekholm. He still led them in ice time, Joaquin. Nice. So for me, you're sending a message, but you're not really, because you're still playing him. And I understand why Knobloch throws him over, because he can turn the game with one pass or a shot. I understand that.
The way he can move the puck there's not many guys that can do it.
No.
He's very, very talented, right? The way he sees the ice, but he's got to get that.
It's a split personality.
Well, what did Nobla say after the game on the first game? He said, too many times we had guys trying to make plays that aren't there. And too many times Evan Bouchard tries to make plays that aren't there, where a simpler, more defined play would be better suited in those types of situations.
An interesting comment yesterday by Knobloch. He was asked about the team being a veteran team. I'm trying to remember about how they know they can just get out of this. And he said, well, I don't think that's a positive, because the team thinks, oh, we're playing bad, we can just flip a switch and we'll be good.
It's not a switch, man.
Yeah, he goes, I don't know. He didn't agree with the question or with the statement that was made to him. He just said, I think that almost harms us, because we just think we can turn it on whenever we want. And that's not how you play.
It's funny because they do, the Oilers do a lot better when the world is against them. And everyone counts them out. It seems to get them a little bit angry. So maybe we just yell at them from now till the playoffs and then take credit for everything.
Watch them win both games, 3 games this week. And we're just sitting here like a bunch of jabronis All right, we'll continue the Oiler talk. We'll get to those clips eventually. I do want to talk some F1 with you too, but it seems like the hot topic, and obviously for good reason, is the Edmonton Oilers blowing out this weekend. It wasn't pretty. Team's not looking too good right now. McDavid day off today. They'll back at it tomorrow, 5:30. So Tom and I will jump on at 4:30 for the pregame show. And then Reed will finish off the final half hour with Jay Milne. And then we're back for the postgame show. And for everybody's sake, I hope the Oilers win. Or else it's going to get really, really nasty. And we'll see who gets the start in net. The afternoon inbox is... I can't even scroll right now, boys. The afternoon inbox is presented by the River Cree Resort and Casino, home of the Kitchen Restaurant, and all-you-can-eat surf and turf for just $59.99 every day from 4 to 10 p.m. Keep slamming that thumbs up. You have any questions for Joaquin or myself, send them in to the River Cree inbox, 780-218-9999, or the Nasty Chat. We're also going to do this day in sports history. We got some cool birthdays too, Joaquin. So we'll get to all that as we get you set for the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne coming up at 3. We're back after the break, but first, here's Zach with your sports update.
NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman has appealed Minnesota's Ryan Hartman's 10-game suspension, reducing it to 8 games. Hartman originally received his suspension earlier this month after dropping his elbow into the back of Tim Stützle's head off a face-off draw that caused Stützle of the Senators to bleed. In the light NHL slate sees Winnipeg hosting San Jose while the Golden Knights meet the Kings. An Edmonton practice in Tampa Bay this morning, taking on the Lightning tomorrow. 8 games fill the NBA schedule, having Brooklyn visit Washington. The Nuggets tip off with the Pacers, while Philly plays without Joel Embiid against Chicago before the Raps face the Celtics tomorrow. And MLB spring training continues. The Jays-Tigers game was canceled today. It's Toronto and St. Louis tomorrow. Right now, the Rockies lead 2-1 on the Giants at the bottom of the third. The Dodgers trail by 1 to the Reds at the bottom of the third as well, while the Brewers hold the Mariners 5-1 at the bottom of the second, having 8 active games in baseball. This sports update is brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated since 1993. They're more than just plywood. They offer everything from doors and flooring to decking, fencing, and custom millwork. Windsor Plywood Leduc, the experts you need to know. EST Afternoons returns on the other side of the break. I'm Zachary Kubusch for your sports update.
Get your fix every single game with the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas. Whether it's breaking down the starting lineup, predicting key matchups, or diving deep into the game's biggest moments, Tom and Hernan are here to give you the best insight and analysis in the city. After the final horn, get the breakdown of every key moment, performance, and player reactions. It's your one-stop shop for all things game day. Catch the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame and postgame shows with Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Make your birthday legendary at the Canadian Brewhouse with epic food, killer drinks, and an unbeatable vibe. Plus, download the Canadian Brewhouse app and score free nachos on your big day. Book your party now to celebrate like a pro. The Canadian Brewhouse. Our house is your house.
Love is in the air. I love you. And you? And you? And you! Why choose between your beloved items? Sentinel Storage, keeping your treasures safe to be loved again. Try 4 weeks free. Details at sentinelstorage.ca.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Got some gently used furniture or home goods that need a new home? Find Edmonton is here to help. Every month we furnish over 100 homes to those transitioning out of homelessness, and we need your gently used furniture and home goods. Drop off at 5120 122nd Street or call for free local pickup. Just visit findedmonton.com to learn how your donations can help create a home for someone in need. Plus, shop our thrift store, in-store or online, with proceeds benefit those moving out of homelessness through housing supports. Visit us at findedmonton.com. Find Edmonton, supporting our community one home at a time.
.227, welcome back to EST Afternoons here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Hernan Salas, Joaquin Gage, Zach Kubusch in the house. 3 o'clock, Reed Wilkins and Jay Milne will continue the Oilers conversation as it's been spicy today. It's been very spicy. People are fired up after the Oilers get outscored 13-6 over the weekend in Philadelphia, in Washington, tomorrow in Tampa, Thursday in Florida, Saturday in Carolina. That's a hell of a road trip. They'll come home for 2. And then March 7th, the Friday, is trade deadline. You keep it locked here on Edmonton Sports Talk, as we'll have full coverage that day. We'll see how many moves the Oilers make. What'll be 1, 2, 3, 4? What's going to happen with Mr. Evander Kane? That's the big one, and it needs to be figured out pretty damn quickly here. Van Owen says, Bouchard made me smell toast on Saturday night. Oh, man. It's just been, yeah. And listen, it wasn't just Bouchard. I mean,
this is, wait to see Waddy and Cloverdale. Bouchard is like the guy in beer league who wants to play D so he can get more ice time, puts zero effort into playing any D, then brags about how many points he got in a 10-7 loss. I don't think it's that bad, but that's pretty funny.
No, Coop, can you pull up the picture that I sent you, please? So this is the one. This is the one Dusty tweeted out. This is, I think, the 5th goal. And I just put the picture because I don't want to get too. I don't want to pile on, even though we are. But it's just you know when the Oilers are bad, it's when you see images like this.
Oh yeah,
like that is, and I know it's a rebound. But Gager, that's terrible.
No, yeah, it's just. I mean, the whole weekend, the defensive awareness was just. The minds were still sun-soaked and deep in tequila. You know, that it was just the brain wasn't working all weekend from everybody.
Yeah,
it's crazy how, because you really thought after the Philadelphia game that guys would be mad. You know, okay, there's not enough. Like this next game, man. If that first period isn't, I would say, ice tilted in the Oilers' direction,
it's concerning.
That's very concerning because you're not taking it, you're not taking it personal enough when your team isn't performing at the level that it should. And if that's the case, and if Nobla is saying, well, this is a team that thinks they can just turn it back on, and those 2 games don't flick the switch, then there's something more, there's a bigger issue at the core of this team.
Yeah. And can we run the goal? This is I think that was the 6th goal we just showed. This is the 5th goal. And I just want you to look at the efforts outside of Darnell Nurse. I think that's McDavid, and I'm trying to see who
I think that was
like, this was like a circus. Like, if it had circus music, like, so Darnell Nurse is there. He's trying to play. He goes to the guy. There's 2 Oilers coming back. One of them is McDavid. The other one's probably Emberson. I want to say.
No, it's not Emberson. I think it's
2 flybys. One guy's coming late. The other guy's still at center.
It's Klingberg, I think.
Yeah, it's Klingberg.
He makes the he makes the play at the far blue. But what's really sad in that is the flybys. Like everyone's buzzing the tower at that point. You see Top Gun?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so but you know what buzzing the tower means, right? Okay.
And I know Nurse took some heat But like, what is he supposed to do? He's
At
in
least
no
he
man's
stopped.
land.
At least he stopped in front of the net
And tried to block
tried
the
to
shot.
do something. Like everyone else just left. You know, that's like going to the bar with your buddies. You go to the bathroom and they're both gone. You go, where'd everyone go?
Yeah. I wasn't so hard on Nurse as many were, but that was atrocious defending. That give a crap meter there was at 0.
Stops and starts, man. There was, you know what? I guess, I don't know, maybe the training staff, Harry, and didn't have to do any skates because there was no stopping. Or maybe he didn't. Maybe it's the trainer's fault. It's got to get on the old Blade Master and get some edges on these things because no one could stop out there. It was just big, huge swings.
We got to blame someone. We got to blame someone.
We had, I remember I had a coach one time and he gave us kind of the green light or maybe he didn't. And we all went out and the next practice, I mean, I don't think anyone made a pass for the first 20 passes. And he stopped practice and brought out the trainers and ripped them and for not doing their jobs because no one can stand up and the skates are wrong and sent everyone off.
Oh,
and
really?
then kept the trainers out there. They had to run lines with their shoes on. It was hilarious.
Oh boy. So Connor McDavid, last 3 games, Joaquin, -3. He's been in -9. And if you want to go back even further, he's -11 in his last 4.
You only go as your big dogs go, man. And if there's not enough awareness, and I mean, I'm just going back and looking at these clips here. The body language from everyone just going off the ice, so defeat. It's bad, man. Bad weekend. Got to change that up. Change it up.
Yeah.
Poor Pickard on that thing. Jesus.
Yeah. Poor Nurse, man. He was going back and forth.
So they looked like foosball players.
Oh man, I seriously felt bad for Darnell Nurse on that. He's the only one trying to get his, I don't know what he was trying to get his butt or any part of his body
anything
in there.
on it, yeah.
And you know what? I give him props for that because everybody else just flew by. What'd you say the Top Gun reference was?
Buzz the Tower.
Buzz the Tower. I remember that. Of course I've seen Top Gun.
Okay.
Gage, this day in sports history, 1980, Wayne Gretzky became the first player in NHL history to score 100 points in a season before the age of 20. Also 1980, in Lake Placid, New York, the U.S. hockey team defeated Finland 4-2 to win the gold medal. 1982, Wayne Gretzky scored his 77th goal of the season to break the NHL record held by Phil Esposito. Gretzky ended up with 92 goals and 212 points.
92 goals.
He was the first player to finish the season with more than 200 points. 23 years ago today, on this day, Canada beats USA 5-2 in the gold medal game at the 2002 Winter Olympics. Joe Sakic wins the tournament MVP.
That was a whooping.
32 years ago on this day, the Chicago Blackhawks acquired Joe Murphy from the Edmonton Oilers for Igor Kravchuk and Dean McHammond.
Oh, okay.
Your boys.
Poor Murph. Murph's rough time.
Yeah, he is. Birthdays, Brian Savage.
Okay.
Alexei Kovalev.
52.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
God, he was good.
He was good, man. Excellent. Floyd Mayweather Jr.
How old's he?
I don't know. I got to look. I didn't look up his age. And O'Shea Jackson Jr. You know who that is. Ice Cube's kid.
Oh, is it?
Straight out of Compton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was good in that. He looks exactly like his dad.
He looks just exactly like his dad. And it's National Tortilla Chip Day.
Oh.
What do you put on your tortilla chips?
Guac.
Do you mix the guac with a little bit of salsa and a little bit of sour cream, or do you just go guac?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get the pico. What I do, my guac recipe. I shouldn't be doing this because it's dynamite.
You shouldn't be sharing it?
No, I shouldn't. I really shouldn't. Because you get the avocados, get them ripe, right?
Yeah.
Smush those bad boys up. You go to Evolution or whatever. It's the olive oil place. They have black truffle salt.
Oh.
Okay, so you put the black truffle salt in there. Then juice of a lemon, half a lime. And then the pico, sometimes I get the pico, throw that in there, cilantro, red onion, mix all that up with sour cream, maybe a little bit of cayenne to give it a kick, and it's the best thing you've ever tasted.
Will you garnish that tortilla chip with your salsa guac mixture with a nice jalapeno?
Yeah, you know what? I don't usually put the jalapenos I put on if I make nachos and throw the fresh ones on there. But I just like guac on my tortilla chips.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'll do salsa and sour cream, but I'm a guac guy.
Cheese?
Through. Nope.
Green onion? Some olives?
No red onion.
No.
Nope. Oh, you're talking about nachos.
Yeah.
That's not nachos.
Yeah.
I'm saying just a bowl of chips.
Yeah.
You make the guac, right?
Do you have a favorite tortilla chip?
Well, I've had to switch.
I like the old Dutch ones that are kind of red.
There's ones that are in a green thing. I'll bring them in. They're really thin, and I think they're made out of Winnipeg, actually.
Oh, really?
They're really good, but they break easily.
The Italian Center has two kinds. One, it's really hot.
The red red one?
Yeah, and then they have a guac one.
Okay, but the red one, you get it in the green package. That's the one I'm talking about. And I think they're Canadian.
Yeah,
so,
it's spicy as hell.
It is spicy,
Yeah. We love those, though. They're excellent. Wheel says, Gager, I'm coming for some hot dogs this elk season. Buddy, I'm going to find you. Gager doesn't know if he's returning, so.
Oh.
Right?
I think I am. I'm going to go back one more year.
And Phyllis, who always joins us from Winnipeg, says, Joaquin, your words prior to the Canada versus U.S. game were amazing. Thank you for that.
Phyllis, you're too sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. That was awesome, man. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, I've got engagements coming in. I'm a poor man's Tony Robbins right now.
So tell the story. Come on, this is kind of cool.
No, I've gotten a few people that reach out to ask if I would come speak to their teams for their upcoming playoff runs and stuff, but I don't know what I would say. Well, I guess I could come up with something, but I mean, it's I was a fan, right? I was a fan for a week and a half, so that came quite easily. I have to have an emotional attachment to it, I think. So.
Leduc Aaron says Bouchard only skates hard after a goalie gains back to the bench. Yeah, he gets off the ice quick. He does.
If he skated that hard back, you'd have no problem. He'd probably catch the guy.
This one from Raider Jesse. That was not Bouchard's guy, and Dusty's cover that guy. He shadowed Ovechkin from the net to the corner. That was forward support guy. That was slow. Well, I don't think either of us said that was Bouchard's guy. We were just showing the picture that the guy was all alone in front of the net.
Yeah. Matt Hyman says, Gagers, since you don't own your Team Canada jersey, can I please have it? Matt, if you listen back, it's borrowing. I'm still borrowing that Team Canada jersey.
So you can't have it, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just double checking. No.
La Cocina.
La Cocina.
Cocina?
That's the kitchen.
Oh, I know.
Okay.
I would say Cocina.
No, Cocina means dirty.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
But in Italian, wouldn't that be Cocina? What's
La Cocina?
Cocina, yeah. Okay.
And those are not the chips I'm talking about.
Those are the chips
you're talking.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think those are them.
Yeah, I gotta try. I've seen those bags though.
Yeah.
Hartman down to 8 games. What do you think of that?
Terrible.
Yeah. What did they do?
What? Why?
Yeah, like
he tried to kill a guy.
Like he
that for how many times over the last 8?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what is he learning?
Nothing.
Nothing. I can get away with stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as I appeal, I'll get.
I'll get a couple games off. It'll be all right. No. Throw the book at this chump. That's crazy.
He's a jabroni. All right. Do you agree with us that Stuart Skinner should get the bulk of the games leading up to the trade deadline? That's 4 or 5. There's only 5. So.
And for our Winnipeggers, should Comrie get the bulk of the games?
You really want Hellebuck rested, don't you? Yeah. I'd be shocked if Hellebuck plays tonight.
Oh, I would too. But
Yeah.
he probably will.
Hey, man, those guys love to play. So a portion of this hour brought to you by the Canadian Brewhouse. The Canadian Brewhouse wing flavors of the month are going head-to-head. Spicy Dill 2.0 versus Bang Bang Sauce. Which one's got your vote? Head to the Canadian Brewhouse for wing night and find out. Our house is your house. All right. Final segment coming up here on EST Afternoons as we get you ready for Reed Wilkins and Jay Mill. Keep the thumbs up coming on the EST YouTube channel. Hit up the Nasty Chat and text us on the River Korean box, 780-218-9999. We're back after the break. Here's Koob with your sports update.
Ryan Hartman of the Wild had an appeal on his 10-game suspension, with NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman reducing it to 8 games. And Hartman's punishment was handed out when he elbowed Ottawa's Tim Stützle to the back of the head when both players collided off a face-off draw. And it's the Kings and Golden Knights dropping the puck while the Jets take on the Sharks, having just 2 games in the NHL. And on the court, Miami plays Atlanta, Portland, and Utah matchup, while Joel Embiid sits out due to injury when the 76ers face the Bulls, seeing 8 games around the association. And 8 games are live in spring training. Cubs and Padres tied it 2 apiece at the bottom of the 4th. The Royals lead the Athletics 1-0 in the bottom of the 1st, while the Rangers control the White Sox 9-0 in the 4th. And the Cleveland Guardians have announced the passing of owner Lawrence Dolan, with Dolan being the longest tenured owner in franchise history. Dolan was 94 years old. We have a quick break before the final segment of EST Afternoons brings us back. I'm Zachary Kubusch, and you're up to date.
2 guys and a goalie.
The leader is Mark Stone. You'd need an extra guy for rec league, and somebody would be like, oh, I'll call my buddy Mark, and he would walk into the dressing room, and then they'd be like, who's this furry guy that like probably is going to be the least coordinated player on the ice?
Yeah.
And then he'd go out on the ice, and his team wins 12-2, and he has 9 goals and 3 assists.
2 guys and a goalie, presented by GS Construction. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons at noon, only on Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports.
Your home for live music and great performances is the River Cree Resort and Casino. March 21st, don't miss Grits and Glamour, 2 country icons, Pam Tillis and Lori Morgan. Live at the venue at the River Cree.
Except for Monday, which was never good anyway. Tuesday, I get a little.
Get your tickets at rivercreeresort.com. River Cree Resort and Casino. Excitement, bet on it.
Celebrating 70 years in the signage industry, William Huff Advertising is the most recognized name in the game. An in-house, one-stop shop for all of your design, print, and installation needs. William Huff provides quality graphic solutions for everyone. Here in our City of Champions and throughout the nation, they are the preferred signage partner entrusted by many of the biggest corporations, pro sports teams, and organizations to bring their identity to life. Recognize the name, get in the game. WilliamHuff.com.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta injury lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oilers fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to jameshbrown.com.
2:44, final segment here on EST Afternoons on Edmonton Sports Talk. 3 Oiler games this week, 5:30 on Tuesday against Tampa. Back in Florida for the Stanley Cup rematch, 5 o'clock. Saturday, also a 5 o'clock game. Hernan likes that because early nights, which is good. In Carolina, a place where they don't win often. So it's going to be a tough week for the Edmonton Oilers. But like Gager said, I think tomorrow's going to be telling, because that first period, the Oilers better be all over it, because if not, that's another concerning aspect to their game. We'll see who gets a start in net, what the lines will be, and by all accounts today at practice, Emerson was the 7th, which is, I don't agree with that. I know you want to get Stetcher in, but it shouldn't come at the cost of Emerson, who's been one of your more solid defensemen in the last couple of months. Joaquin, we got some switch gears a bit in the final segment. F1 testing. I think Tim said it best. He said you can't read too much into it because a lot of teams won't show their full. What is it?
What they're running,
how fast they want to be looked,
fuel loads, all those things, right? So you won't really know. But he did say on the last day you'll probably get a better understanding because then they'll be going for usually 1 lap pace and see where they're at. So you can kind of get a little bit though. Usually you'll hear the term sandbagging a lot, like just not showing everything because again you don't know what. How the power unit's turned up, if it's on full or things like that, right? But I mean, at least we're going to finally see the real cars here, and just kind of see what the drivers can do. It'll be great. I can't wait. It's a funny kind of weekend because the announcers they don't really have too much to talk about, so it's a very relaxing couple of days watching, but. Just to see the technology side of things always fascinates. Like they have the wind rakes on the back, and you'll see them with different like front ends, different wings. Seeing what type of basically on the back, what type of downforce they're trying to use and see. So I can't wait, man. There was a great thing. I might have to post this out too. There's which helmet you like the best on the site.
Oh,
so they have everyone's all 20 guys helmets. I'm kind of partial. I like Piastri's actually a little bit. I'll post these out so you can have a look. But we're there, man. We are there.
I like Norris. I like Hamilton.
Yeah,
Leclerc too.
Hulkenberg's is.
It's good. Stroll's is awesome.
Stroll's is pretty good too.
Ocon. That's a cool
Bortoletto kind of just an ode to Senna a little bit with his old school one.
The Brazilian colors.
Yeah.
I gotta say probably I don't like Piastri's.
I like Piastri's.
I don't like Verstappen's. Albon's is pretty nice too with the pink in there.
Yeah, Lawson's got a lot of pink on his too.
I don't like either Red Bull one. Gasly I don't like.
Ocon's is good. Albon's is good with that pink. You're right about that.
I know Lando's is nice. I like the yellow on Hamilton's. That's top notch.
Well, there's just that at special events. There's that yellow, right?
Yeah.
That helmet with the red suit, it's dynamite.
Hey, Kimmy's there. Who are we missing? Who's the other Haas driver here? Oh, Ollie Behrman.
Yeah.
That's okay. Not a big fan of that one. Yeah, those are pretty cool. Yeah, maybe tomorrow. You can text them out or tweet them out, sorry, and then you can discuss further. Those are sweet helmets, though.
Yeah.
I like Lando's, though. It's got colorful. He's going to stand out.
Oh, yeah.
So testing goes 26th, 27th, 28th, and then we're right into it on March 14th, starting in Australia. If you're an IndyCar fan, they get going this weekend. So I'm going to be tuning in and I'm going to see, man. Tim Horani did say it's a lot of fighting, a lot of takeovers. He said there's about 20 drivers in the mix, which is awesome. And so looking forward to it. Really looking forward to that for sure. Deskra says Skinner should play every game that isn't a back-to-back until the deadline. Only way to know. John Carlo says, yes, Skinner plays the majority of the games before the deadline. Picks blew it yesterday for the starting spot. Well, to be fair, I don't think he was ever truly considered for the starting spot. That's just me. As well as he's played, I just don't think that's realistic. Baggio, you're right. Cocina is Italian for kitchen. Yeah, cucina. And in Spanish, it's cocina.
Okay.
Yeah. So, hey, what did you make of? So Elias Pettersson, I guess it's making some noise there in Vancouver that he doesn't like the media.
Oh, man.
I mean, when you sign for that amount of money and you're considered, well, he's not, but considered the best player on the team, you got to deal with the media, man. Whether you like it or not. Look, everybody else does.
Man, they wouldn't be on you if you didn't suck. They would, like, They want everyone to be nice to you here. You're commanding that amount of money. That's crazy. The thing, and I understand it can be hard on you, right?
Sure.
And he looks like his diaper looks full in most of those scrums anyway. But he also has a massive fan base that's hoping that he turns it around. Mm-hmm. So turn it around. It's on you. Like you're in control of how people will portray you in the media. If you're showing some effort and producing to getting to your capabilities as a player, like you can't tell me that he's at the level that we saw a few years ago.
No, not even close.
And so stop it.
Yeah, for me, it's when I hear that kind of stuff, if I was his teammate, I'd honestly look at him and be like, grow up here, man.
Yeah.
Like, you're making 11 mil, man. Like you have to answer a few questions because we're not doing well right now. Like, deal with it. Like, I just don't get it, man. I don't know where this guy's gone. I mean, Demko now on IR. Like, this season is unraveling quick. Now, they're still in the last wild card spot. They're 2 points up on Calgary, but they also come back off the break with 2 losses, Joaquin. Calgary won last night, so they're closing the gap there. But I think I'm starting to think more and more that Pettersson's going to be gone in the off.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
And I do think teams will line up.
What I'm so shocked of is because they have the Sedin twins are still there. Like, I think they live there.
Yeah, and they're part of the management.
Can't they have a talk with him? Like, they know what it's like in that market. Like, it's tough.
It's media training too. Have someone sit with him and say, "Hey, if you're pissed off, this is the way you answer this. This is the way you handle it." But it seems like there's none of that there. You look. I know Hronek last year at the season end, like he went at it with one of the reporters because he just didn't want to answer a question.
Yeah,
like, sorry, man, you're a pro player. It comes with the territory. And yes, the media guy, you could hate him, you can be annoyed with him, whatever it is. Be a professional.
Yeah,
that's all it comes down to.
Yeah, you got to face the music sometimes. And being a professional athlete, yeah, and it sucks. When things are bad, it sucks. You don't want to talk about that. But you also have the ability to change the narrative on yourself by changing your play around. So what's it going to be? You're just going to be mad at you think it gets better anywhere else? That's the thing. Like,
I mean, go to Columbus, maybe. You sure?
Sure, I guess.
Deal with it, but you're never going to win. Well, I shouldn't say never, but
it's actually a pretty good trade right now.
Yeah, they're actually pretty good. Deaky Spark says he doesn't like the media or JT Miller or getting points. What's he like? But that's the thing. So it started with this and that, and then it was the JT Miller, and he'll turn it around, and then he's going to go to Four Nations and get his spark back. Nothing's worked.
Man, do you remember the start of last season, not this season, last season, when they played the Canucks the first 2 games and they just rode them? Elias Pettersson, I think I want to say he ran over McDavid. It was maybe it wasn't McDavid, but he ran someone over at the blue line and just blew him up. I was like, wow, look at that guy. Supposedly a skilled guy,
yeah,
and he's showing a physical aspect to his game. Like, this looks like a good team. And there's nothing like that.
There's nothing there. He has 11 goals on the season.
Ooh. It's $1 million a goal.
If EP gets shipped out after they traded Miller, does that put management there on a hot seat from Big Dave? I think so. Because at least with JT Miller, yeah, he can be an A, you know what?
Yeah.
But the guy's a gamer.
Yeah.
The guy's going to do anything to win a game on the ice and back up his teammates. He might, like I said, he might not be well liked in the room, but on the ice, he gets things done. So did they trade the wrong guy? Maybe.
Corey B's in on the X machine. I put out the pictures of the driver helmet. So he likes Leclerc's. So he likes the red.
I like the yellow. The yellow is an absolutely fire look. We'll finish with this one on the River Korean box. Apparently, the Sedins and Pedersen don't have a strong relationship. It was discussed locally on one of their morning shows.
No, of course.
Of course. He doesn't like anything. What does Elias Pedersen like? That's a segment on its own. Big shout out to Derek Van Diest for joining us. Tomorrow, we'll head to Tampa. We'll talk to Eric Erlinson. And I know Maddie's got one of the boys working on an NBA guest as Luka plays his former team.
Ooh.
So lots to get to tomorrow. Plus Heat and Smoke, another round of trivia with our guy, Kub Nation. Keep it locked here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Reed Wilkins, Jay Milne coming up for Joaquin Gage and Zach Kubusch. I'm Hernan Salas. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk tomorrow on game day. Ciao for now.